Here we are.
Hello there to all you bucketheads, and welcome to any newfoundlings. This is another episode of the most disorganized podcast on the internet. We've got a banner now. Very exciting. And we're also on Twitch, so hello there to Twitch. How we doing tonight?
It's been a while.
While you are here, it has been a while, but we are here and we're ready. So, before we get started, a couple little housekeeping things. Don't forget to or follow us so that way every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. So, follow us on Instagram because we keep you pretty updated on that Instagram. Also, one more tiny little thing before we get going. We have a Discord, and for those of you who have not joined yet, the Discord is actually really fun. We've got some great people so far. I've got some of my friends from TikTok. It's a good time. We've had a great time. We've got all kinds of fandoms represented here. Talking Star Wars, talking Marvel. Got some cosplay showcase. Of course, we've got a dinner for spoiler where I will be the first person on because I wake up and immediately watch the episode. But with that being said, let us get on to Obi-Wan Kenobi. We'll talk our spoiler-free reviews in a second, but I want to start with our opener question, Eli.
All right.
So you're a Jedi that survives Order 66. Where are you hiding, and what are you doing?
Surviving
Where are you going to hide, and what are you?
Where am I going to hide? I'm tempted to make a joke, but I will save that for the spoiler section. But geez, Jedi post Order 66 managed to survive somehow. I guess I can't say somehow. It seems like everybody's doing it these days.
We'll talk about that. I would disagree with that statement. Very much disagree.
Yeah. Okay.
I know some other people that would too.
That's fair.
Where are you hiding?
Where am I hiding? I am very partial towards the planet of Zepho. I really like it there. It's a cool fucking planet, but at the same time, I feel like a place like Nar Shaddaa, there's enough people and enough just kind of den of scum and villainy. It'd be really easy to just blend in. Like, have you seen the final scene of Silence of the Lambs where he hangs up the phone and then fades away into a crowd of people?
I have not seen Silence of the Lambs, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That sort of like blending in with the crowd type.
It'd be like that. You just kind of put up the hood on your cloak because you know I'd have a cloak, and just kind of fade in with the people.
Yeah, Obi-Wan recognizes him.
Yeah. Cloaks are wonderful. I tell you what, man. That and everybody in half of the fucking alien population wears masks for breathing and whatnot. I feel like you could very easily just put on a full helmet, not show any of your identity, and be fine for just about everything. Just saying.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all.
I don't know why nobody does this. I mean, Echo did in Bad Batch.
What, got a scumper hand?
No, Echo disguised himself as a droid. I don't know why more people don't do that.
I don't know either. That's pretty interesting for that. You guys back on Twitch? We're back.
We are indeed back on Twitch.
On my end, I got pretty slow on my end, but all right. I'm hovering at that 1 bar mark, so I gotta be careful.
I was gonna say your internet's having trouble. I don't know if that's a Twitch specific issue or just your internet has trouble.
I don't know either. It looks like we're up to 2 now, so I think we'll be doing all right. But
Okay.
my plan to survive is simple. I'm gonna move to Corellia, and I'm gonna become a racer. Plain and simple.
Come on, what?
Because here's a swoop bike. So like a motorcycle racer.
Uh-huh.
Because here's the thing, we all know Jedi have fast reflexes, right? And they can see things before they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how Qui-Gon basically discovered it. Wouldn't it make sense to use skills to kind of make some of the money?
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
As a pretty good racer, and it's like, if you're a pod racer, obviously they're gonna know something's up because it's not likely for a human to drive a pod racer. But there's a lot of humans that ride swoop bikes. Han Solo and Dengar are both good examples of humans that are piloted swoop bikes. So I'm gonna pilot a swoop bike, and I'm just gonna go chill.
There were numerous others that weren't necessarily Force users.
Exactly. And because of that, that's why I say become a swoop bike and get famous. Deals, you get tips, bribe a couple Imperial, people get the other way. You just float.
Just kind of exist.
Alrighty, 6 minutes in. We'll head over to our non-spoiler section.
All right.
Spoilers first, non-spoilers first. So, overall, did you episode non-spoiler?
I feel like this episode. This episode didn't feel like as much as some of the other episodes. If that makes sense. I still thoroughly enjoyed the episode, but other than a couple of very specific sections, it didn't feel like it really stuck out to me. Don't get me wrong. It had its shining moments. I can't talk about them yet because we're still in non-spoilers. But I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I woke up. I got to watch new Star Wars. It's a good freaking day, man. But it wasn't.
We're not like some people who said everything has to be perfect.
I think the problem was episode 3 spoiled me. Because episode 3 had that like edge of your seat tension that we hadn't really seen kind of ever with Star Wars. The pacing and everything was just incredible about episode 3 or part 3. So I come to part 4 and I guess my brain was expecting that again. And there were definitely some more tense moments of this episode, but it didn't carry that same as episode 3. Now I will say what this episode felt, I won't even say lacking. It wasn't really lacking. It makes up for in little hints at backstory stuff. There's a lot that is just at the edge of our field of view that is all about to come boiling over. I can feel it. Partially because I know there's only 2 episodes left, but also partially because it was so heavily hinted at in this episode.
I've got actually a couple theories. So this episode, was really short. I've heard some people call it filler. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. This episode is not filler. There's so much that happens. The problem is you kind of just. Well, and here's the thing. So in a filler episode, there are not much changes. So much happened in this episode, you cannot call it filler.
Oh no.
So honestly, this episode was. I disagree with you about the tension because I was really feeling it this episode, where I was very much on the edge of my seat with the scenes with Reva specifically. Her scenes had me on the edge of my seat all the time, every time she's on screen. And Moses Ingram is such a great actress. You can just sort of tell through her like mannerism. Like there's one scene where like she's about to do something and she gets interrupted, and because we're non-spoilers, I'm not going to say, but she does this glare that the fact that people call her a bad actor, they just don't know what acting is. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The way she goes and she's like, looking forward and all intense and angry, and then you see her just slightly tilt her head and look, not even at the person, but you can feel her glaring at them. It's just chef's kiss. She's amazing. Moses Ingram is an amazing actress, and I will die on this hill. She is absolutely killing it. And honestly, non-spoilers, keeping it non-spoilers, in my episode rankings right now, I am going to rank this episode as my second favorite, honestly.
All right.
I have loved every episode of the show. Episode 3 is my favorite. Episode 3 is going to be really hard to top. But I just love this episode. So much happens. There's so much subtlety and nuance of things that happen in this episode that I think people aren't giving enough credit to. Because here's the thing. Deborah Chow is not a in-your-face kind of director. She is very much a sort of subtlety and themes, and the acting in this show is next level. Like Star Wars is not known for its particularly amazing acting. Let's be real. Some of the performances kind of hammy, but that's what makes Star Wars great. Is those hokey performances, those hammy. And like I heard somebody make a comment about there's a scene where was underwater, gets out of the water, and they're like, well, his hair was dry. And it goes back to this interview that Mark Hamill was giving, where he was on set of A New Hope, and they were shooting the scenes post trash compactor. And Mark said to like the people, like, hey, shouldn't my hair be wet? This isn't, continuity wise, this isn't adding up. And Harrison Ford taps him on the shoulder, and he says, hey, kid, this isn't that kind of movie. If they're too busy looking at your hair, we're all in trouble. Pretty good hair. So, but the fact that he says that, and now the fact that Star Wars is so scrutinized to this level of like hyper fixation, like that is truly, I have heard very few criticisms of this show that could not just be chalked up to nitpicking. And there's another scene I will talk about. We'll talk about in spoilers. But someone's like, that doesn't make sense. Yes, it does, and I can prove it. But we'll get there. It's one of the fight scenes where one person disarms a person. You know what I'm talking about. But let us last thing in non-spoilers.
Me having the button ready.
The biggest shout out in the world. I've had trouble remembering this actress's name, and I have studied it and studied it and studied it. Vivian Lyra Blair, the young lady who plays Princess Leia. Young Leia is just phenomenal.
Oh, she's killing it.
Does not miss. Between her mannerisms and her dialogue, just everything about her, she doesn't miss. I have yet to see a scene of her where like the Leia mask slips off. Just so good. It's so good. But let's go ahead and move into spoilers because I want to give a shout out, but it's going to be a spoiler. So,
all right.
Shout out to the costume department. Obi-Wan's new tunic is fucking sexy, and I want it. I need it. I gotta have it. I will dye these robes gray, dadgummit. I will do it.
Also, shout out to the costume department. Ned B. That's all I got to say. Ned B. I love that droid. I love him so much.
But Obi-Wan's new tunic, and I want to give a shout out to our good friend of the show, Charlie, on Clone Army Radio. I was listening to their broadcast before I went on.
I saw
Because,
they just
I
had
like
a
to
new
hear other people.
episode drop.
Yes, they just did an episode on Kenobi, and Charlie had a really interesting thing that they pointed out was this concept of how Obi-Wan's, clothing choice is reflecting his, sort of transition back, where in the first episode, he doesn't look like a Jedi at all. He's got the poncho, he's got the blue shirt, and he's just looks like your average Joe.
He's a guy.
And then later you see he's got the robe on, but he's not wearing his tunic. He's wearing the undershirt. And he's not in that, and there's no tunic. There's just the robe. So he's this shell of a Jedi. He's not giving Jedi with his, look and his vibe and everything like that. And then, Vader literally puts his feet to the fire, drags that man through it. And in this episode, he gets back these Jedi robes. And I wanna push back, Charlie. I love you, but please do not ever mention Gray Jedi again. I'm sorry. I gotta say it.
You ain't
Please
been.
never say Gray Jedi again. I am completely. I'm just tired of that phrase. Okay,
Dylan, how closely have you been watching the Discord?
I have not been watching the Discord that close at all. Oh, so a lot of and they were talking about Gray Jedi today, and I walked away. I said I have too much work to do to get in this tantrum because it really is. It's a nitpicky tantrum. And here's the thing: if you like Gray Jedi, cool, we can be friends. I'm just gonna call it cringe every chance I get because Gray Jedi, the concept of it annoys me so much because it's among. And here's the thing: I love a good anti-hero. I'm a hypocrite.
We know.
I know. I love Red Hood. I love the Punisher. I love Deadpool. Okay? But Gray Jedi annoy me to my core.
I don't know
It just
how.
does. Because the thing. It's like, I want to be on the good guy team, but I do bad stuff sometimes. Star Wars is not about moral gray. I'm sorry. It's just not. There is the light side. There is the dark. There is no gray side. Like, there is I want to shoot lightning out of hands if I wanted to. Bro, please. I urge you, my brother in the Force, go outside and touch grass, please. It sickens me because and Charlie's point was let me try to get back on topic. Charlie's point was about how everyone is unsure of himself. He's not in these pristine, clean, tan Jedi robes, your classic Jedi attire, which we see him in the prequels and we see him in A New Hope wearing. But he's in this darker robe signifying that he's still carrying that darkness and carrying that trauma, which will which he's going to overcome it. Honestly, I would really enjoy if in the last episode of this series he puts on like more Alec Guinness style Jedi robes, which I would thoroughly enjoy. It would make me very happy to see.
It would make the most sense too.
It would. And I also think he's going to, and if you notice in this show, his vocal cadence is a lot slower than it was in the prequels. He's bridging that gap even further to Alec Guinness when he talks slow, because he's noticeably slowed down his cadence. Like, it's not this hello, it's not quite the hello there. Don't be afraid. Come here, little one. Don't be afraid. It's not quite there just yet, but it's getting there. And man, is it beautiful to see. Also, speaking of the subtleties of Ewan's performance, the way he wields the lightsaber in this episode, When I tell you, I screamed without the S. Beautiful, beautiful glow stick action. Made my whole day. Watching him just put in the work and do all these wonderful, amazing things with the lightsaber. And the you can tell he's not fully in his form 3. He's, you know, striking this stance, which I believe is a form 5 stance, if I'm not mistaken.
I
You
believe
know,
that to be Form 4 because that's Yoda's starting, and
yes,
Yoda
form 4. It's an Ataru stance. Yes, yes, it is.
because it was
Yes, yes,
Qui-Gon's main
because that's
form,
that's the
which
Qui
is
Gon
what
Jinn stance.
Qui-Gon. It's what got
Absolutely,
Qui-Gon
absolutely.
killed.
That is the Qui Gon Jinn stance. You're absolutely right. That's form 4. Yeah. Anakin's form 5. Sorry. After a while they blend all together. So, but yeah, and also the fact that when he's spitting, his hair is down in his face. It You could edit that shot for shot with Attack of the Clones, guarantee you. Just the lightsaber work in this episode is impeccable, amazing. I love it. 10 out of 10.
I want to say something about the lightsaber scene, specifically the one in the interrogation room.
Yes,
where it is just darkness, and then Saber cuts down a stormtrooper, darkness again. And you see this stormtrooper just looking around, just scrambling for his life. And then it's just Saber cuts down stormtrooper, off again. It was beautiful. That shot was amazing. It made me want to go and take my saber outside and swing it around when it's dark.
So I picked up 3 kind of distinct vibes from that episode. Two I picked up on my own. A third I saw on TikTok, but I want to mention it. So
Okay.
The first vibe, obviously, with the lights cutting out, and then suddenly a dude gets taken down, and then the other guy's freaking out, and he gets taken down. That is straight Batman. Just
Oh yeah.
when I saw that scene, I was like, Obi-Wan's gonna come out speaking like Christian Bale. That would have been really fun.
Where's the princess? Where is she?
Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? No, that sounds wrong. I'm sorry.
The Alec Guinnessification of Batman.
The Alec Guinnessification of Christian Bale's Batman.
God.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will. You will. But
No,
anyways,
no, we don't.
Second vibe I got from this,
Mm.
Fallen Order with the stormtrooper and the banter and the sounding tough, even though he isn't. A lot of Fallen Order vibes from this episode. Obviously,
I mean, it's in a Fallen Order appearing location.
It is,
Speaking
but I
of
really
which-
want to talk about. I really want to talk about how the stormtrooper. He's got his blaster up, and he's like, "Hey, don't move!" I was waiting for him to say something like, "Everyone's gone. It's just me. I can take you myself." Because when you're down to just one stormtrooper in Fallen Order, they talk like that.
Oh
You
yeah.
can hear the actual fear in their voice because they're just people trying to pay for college. They're trying exactly.
I think
But
the
yeah.
scout troopers are arguably the most fearful because they're like, oh fuck, I have this little zappy stick, and
Little
that's a
Batman.
lightsaber.
But yes, so and the third vibe I got from this was thrown to me by a user on TikTok. But when Obi-Wan puts a saber on, cuts it off, who does that remind us of in live action Star Wars? But Ahsoka. In her debut episode on The Mandalorian, where she appears, slices a guy down, and then disappears. Very, very much Ahsoka with that.
Granted, that happens like years and years after this, but yeah.
Yes, but somebody was saying that, Obi-Wan maybe could have taught Ahsoka this trick. I just think it's a neat little parallel. I don't think he necessarily taught her this because a lot of the Clone Wars environments were very bright, and Ahsoka's very smart, but I think it's worth noting.
That's fair. I will
And
say,
now, speaking of
go,
that interrogation room, I want to talk about how quite literally we have two of the most girl bossiest characters in Star Wars right now with Reva and little Leia. Let me say with Reva, the absolute badassery of saying, all right, the villainy of fine 10-year-old, you don't want to give me what you want, I'll just torture you for it. And people are like, I don't see how she's scary. I don't think she's that scary. Bro, she was literally going to torture a 10-year-old. Also, this is the second time in Star Wars we have seen baby handcuffs.
yeah, yeah.
And
I don't.
after seeing that, I'm reminded of the "Are we the baddies" meme.
Yeah, no, there's nothing else those two stormtroopers could have been thinking. They handcuffed a 10-year-old. There was a
You know,
10-year-old brought into questioning.
we've kidnapped this 10-year-old here. We're strapping her into our torture chair. She's
Which
screaming for help. This is a 10-year-old child. Are we the baddies?
I,
Are we
I
the
don't.
bad guys here?
I personally think if it were anyone but an inquisitor, or like if it were just some imp strapping them into that chair, they totally would have been like, that we're not doing this. But keep in mind, this is fucking Reva.
She is scary. She is a
She's
terrifying.
terrifying.
She's great. Listen, I said this last episode, and I'll say it again. Every time she's on screen, I'm on edge because she's such a wild card. This loose
Absolutely.
cannon maverick. And here's the thing: all the other Inquisitors hate her, which I love because she is her own person, and she's just out there killing it. Shout out to Mo Ingram, because when the officer comes in and interrupts her, I said this in non-spoilers, but I'll say it again. The range of emotions in her face, the way she differentiates between her anger towards Leia, because she's upset, she's angry, and she's yelling and screaming, trying to frighten this child, who we'll talk about Leia. But then she switches to that, like, you're sitting there, you're into something, you're in the middle of something, you're deep in this project, you're working on something, or you're in your room, you're playing a video game, you're doing your thing, and all of a sudden you hear, Mom needs you to take the trash out. That feeling is just so relatable. I don't see, honestly, I wonder at times if I'm watching the same show as some of these people, because some of these people watch this show and they're just being so incredibly harsh and nitpicky towards it. And like, I wonder if we're watching the same show, honestly, because I literally have no critiques of this show. I have yet to see a scene where I'm like, it doesn't work for me. And I've watched each episode at least twice.
I need to start doing that. I've admittedly only watched them once. Callahan and I, however, are actually getting together tomorrow night and watching everything.
Nice. But yeah, it's just something that I'm wondering about, because I'm like, you see, and I've seen some pretty harsh critiques by people who have, been very excited for this show, and people are just like, it's very disappointing, I'm underwhelmed, this and that, and I'm just like, are we watching the same show? Because like, I'm loving every minute of this. And like, if they're like, are there like little tiny flaws, like Obi-Wan got out of the water and he's not wet? Bro, I don't care. Do you know how quick you can dry off?
Like, you know how much quicker you can dry off using the Force?
Yeah, like what if he just pulled a Loki off screen? Like, I don't know. It just bothers me that people are being so Like, we have wished for this show and begged for this show for years. We've wanted Ewan back for years. And people are talking about this show like it's over. We still have 2 episodes, and people are like, where's the Clone Wars flashbacks? Where's this? Where's that? Bro, where's my live action Commander Cody and Captain Rex making sweet, passionate love on the sands of Jabin? I don't, bro. I think we have an issue as Star Wars fans. Hey, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. I don't understand why people, like, they set their expectations so high. And, like, don't get me wrong, it's okay to be disappointed by something that you've wanted. Like, I wasn't entirely enthused by Doctor Strange, but I still enjoyed the movie. Did I have critiques? Yeah, it wasn't my favorite, and that's okay. But I'm not out bullying Benedict Cumberbatch on Twitter and telling what's her name? Elizabeth Olsen, that she ruined my childhood because she portrayed Wanda as the villain. Spoiler alert. But for real, I mean, it's been long enough. The movie's coming out in a couple weeks on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen it, sorry. Like, come on.
I bet you're very excited. You're very excited about that coming out on Disney Plus, aren't you?
I'm gonna watch that movie because I gotta see the. Well, anyways, moving on. If you wanna know what I'm so excited about, I mentioned this in our episode on Doctor Strange. You should watch.
You're also welcome to check out the Discord. There's a meme about it there.
There is. We have talked about how I hyperfixated on one particular aspect of the
Scarlet Witch
statue, and the statue, not the lady, the statue, because I have questions. And don't get me wrong, Elizabeth Olsen is beautiful. She is a queen, and I stand. But the statue in particular had one design choice that bothers me. Back to
Kenobi.
Something.
I don't know. The questions was it. Oh, wait.
Back to Kenobi. Again, I shouted out Vivian Lyra Blair at the beginning of this episode, the young lady who plays, little Leia. I just want to say, Leia, at 10 years old, is more badass than I am at 23. She quite literally.
She is more badass than you are at 23.
She's quite literally stared down Reva as she's trying to force read her mind and hits her with a Marvel quip. She said, "Is this a staring contest?" And at that moment, I could hear the dudes from Vine going, "Oh!" in the background. I saw the little pixelated sunglasses fall over her eyes. A gold chain appeared around her neck, and it just said "Thug Life" on the bottom of the screen. Absolutely.
I could hear the Snoop Dogg verse starting.
Little Leia is a ride or die. She did not snitch for anything.
And
then not only did she Marvel quip on Reva, she punked her ass too. Where Reva was like, we're all on the same side here, yada yada yada, trying to manipulate. Oh, she's a stupid 10-year-old. And then Leia, with the peak girl boss energy that she has at such a young age, looks to her and says, "Well, we'll just talk to my dad first. I mean, we're all on the same side, right?" Let me tell you, she just absolutely sells it. She just sells it, nails it, and then it actually made me think of something very interesting in A New Hope. It's a throwaway line, but it's super interesting, where where Tarkin and Vader are talking about Leia, and Vader has these lines. Her resistance to the mind probe is impressive. Because she's been through this before at 10 years old. Queen shit. Also, in this episode, there is an appearance by everyone's favorite, Darth Vader.
Yeah, and he goes ham.
I just want to say this. And he shows up at the very end of the episode, and he's walking down the hallway, and you can just feel. So, one of the things I love about the Darth Vader comic is that even though his face is static, and it's the same with the Mandalorian, you can feel the emotion coming out of the character. When in that shot where Vader's walking in, you can just feel the fury around him. And then when he was like, "You were warned," the James Earl Jones, because I think it is James Earl Jones. I've heard conflicting reports. Some people say that it's James Earl Jones. Some people say that it's the same like technology that they used for Luke's dialogue in The Mandalorian. But even though Mark Hamill was there, like what? It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I don't get it. But I'm just gonna credit James Earl Jones because there's no way a machine can do that. There's no way just the emotion in his voice. You can feel so much rage, but it's also like it's disappointment, it's anger, and it's rage, just all seamlessly. And it's you were warned, and he picks her up and just chokes her out in the air. I was like, that is just Darth Vader. That is peak Darth Vader. Absolutely incredible. Just every moment of this, I absolutely adored.
It says that Jones returned once again as Darth Vader in Episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm guessing that means for Episode 4 as well. That is indeed none other.
And probably any other episode he appears. But yeah, it's just so good. The dialogue is amazing. The whole, just everything about that is just phenomenal. I literally have no gripes. I don't have anything because he's just that intimidating. And the way he walks in the room, it's like I could dissect that one scene alone all day long with just how amazing it is. And also, the fifth brother does this smirk. He has this shit-eating grin on his face. The whole, because one side of his mouth is closed, the other side's like, "My gotcha, you're screwed." And people say the acting in this show is bad.
People don't know what they're talking about.
Just subtle. There's just subtlety and nuance to the performances. And I also love how, like, when the fifth brother leaves, disappointed, he has this, like, growl that comes out of him. And
this man growls a lot.
It's like, and it's straight out of it's straight out of Rebels because the fifth brother in Rebels was this giant brute of a character. And just, I love it. I love everything about this show. But I think we need to talk about is everybody raise a glass and pour one out for the dead Jedi fully encased in, I guess, amber?
Whatever that is down there.
Whatever that is. Because this episode, I mean, so the Fortress Inquisitorius already was a scary place.
We didn't know it was a fucking tomb.
And also, pour another drink out for Tara Sinube, the Jedi from the Clone Wars that helped Ahsoka recover her lightsaber and had the best line about the, sometimes the best way to move forward is to go slowly, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw him, I was like, no way. And I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I was like, because, Ali was like, Terrasanube. Like, holy shit. Like, I was blown away.
It was one of those Filoni deep cuts that like hits you in the back of the head.
Yep. Well, here's the thing, too. So, Terrasanube's been around since the High Republic. So, he's old.
He's old.
Yeah. So, him and Yoda have been at the Jedi Council since the days of the High Republic. And I think he just I think he was on the council at one point, but he retired to, train younglings because that was like his passion or whatever. But seeing him just sitting there just lifeless like that, it was a gut punch. And there's some other like, really deep cut Jedi in there that people have identified, but I want to try to dispel two of the big names that people have said that they've seen in there. One person, I've heard some people claim that they've seen Quinlan Vos in there. I haven't seen him. I rewatched that scene very closely.
Didn't they just say in episode 3 that he comes in to help from time to time?
Yeah, but from time to time can mean, there's some wiggle room there.
I feel like it's hard to name drop something like that and not be ready to do something with that character.
I feel like it would have been I feel like if Quinlan Vos was there, they would have put some focus on that. Mm-hmm. Especially because they dropped his name. It would have been great to see everyone be like, oh no, Quinlan. Just something like that. Just to kind of hit home how effective the Inquisition? I don't know.
The Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Imperial Inquisition.
One of my favorite memes that I made for the server.
Didn't expect that, did you?
And is now an emote.
It is. It's an emote in our Discord, which you should totally check out, by the way. But
it'll be up on the Twitch as soon as I get the Twitch info.
Another Jedi people have said that they've seen is Mace Windu. They said there's a character in there that looks like Mace Windu, and to that I say, no, it's been debunked. They say, the robes look similar. It's a bald-headed guy, looks a lot like Samuel Jackson, but it's not Mace Windu because you can clearly see his right hand. So unless they went and took the time to reattach this man's hand as they were throwing him in the amber or whatever, it ain't Mace Windu. That doesn't mean he should come back, though. Let that man stay dead. If you want to bring him back in like some prequel content, like some Clone Wars stuff, A-okay, I'm fine with that. That's cool. But let this man stay dead. We have too many resurrections in this universe as is.
But Mark Hamill said no one's ever really gone.
He did say that.
Maybe that would apply to Starkiller.
Bring him back as a Force ghost.
Maybe that applies to Starkiller. Just because he got erased from Legends doesn't mean... You know at this point I'm just pushing your buttons.
I've said my piece on Starkiller.
Find the balance, Dylan. Find the balance.
Said my piece on Starkiller.
Ah.
Also, I recently read that even the developers of the game said, yeah, we have to make him overpowered so the game would be fun. The devs said it. That's all I'm saying. Also,
keep in mind, this was also like early 2000s, 90s Lucasfilm, where those games, the power creep was so high.
Yeah. They were just like, hey, our power creep's going to be so high, when you get to your prequel era Jedi, they're going to look shitty by comparison. Like, what is the coolest move we see a prequel Jedi use? Force speed, we see it once, and we never see it again. Underrated force power, all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm still breathing heavy from the Starkiller thing. I'm sorry. I just
I got you going. And I just had to name
let
drop
him
him.
stay dead. Let him stay legends. Let him stay legends,
Let
please.
legends stay legends.
Let him stay legends.
But I mean, shoot, have you got anything more you need to say?
I want to touch on one more thing. Shout out to Tala because
Risking it all.
for quite literally risking it all and quite literally giving it all up because they know she's a traitor now. They've seen like her chain codes and stuff be used, so she's done. Like she has no choice. She's all in. Also, this is what I wanted to talk about. So people said, oh, she shouldn't have been able to take out a grown man, this and that. Bro, if I were to go and try to subdue a professional woman fighter, I'll say this. So if you were to put me in a UFC ring with, I won't say Ronda Rousey because Ronda Rousey is pretty great. I'll say Holly Holm, the chick who beat Ronda Rousey. If you were to put me in the UFC with Holly Holm, she would demolish me in a fight. And you're saying that somebody who's an imperial officer naturally isn't going to have some combat experience to know
And
how to
is
take
also
somebody
a
out,
spy.
and is also a spy. So you think that she fought fair? Nah, she choked that man out. She probably hit him in the junk. I wouldn't be surprised. She's not exactly fighting fair.
I mean,
Also,
it's just one hit here and no breathing.
like, and it's these people
Punch.
who, a lot of these people have like never actually like been in a fight, so they're just like, yeah, how can a woman take down a man? She's smaller than him. Okay, that means nothing. That means
Judge me by
absolutely.
my size, do you?
Do you know how many martial arts that are out there that are about small people beating up big people? I'll give you one good example right now. Jeet Kune Do, great example of this.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. I knew a girl in college that was a practitioner of Jeet Kune Do. She took me to her dojo once. It was really really cool experience. But I guarantee you, if she wanted to like choke me out, I wouldn't be able to do much to stop it. Not in that way. Not in that way.
I
I
was like,
meant like
this
I
stream
meant
is
like
taking a different turn. I didn't know this was that kind of show.
if I was gonna blow her cover and she's like, I either gotta choke you out or you're gonna blow my cover, I'm getting put to sleep. Good night. Sorry, it is what it is. And then there's also people had issue with her taking out the stormtroopers. So I want everybody to think back to when they first rode a bicycle and they wore a helmet on their head. Okay? Or anybody who's ever worn a helmet before, whether it be a stormtrooper helmet, a clone trooper helmet, a Mandalorian helmet. If you weren't expecting someone to smack you upside your head in that helmet, so Eli, if you put your helmet on right now and I smacked you upside your head, would that not stun you, even though you're wearing a helmet? I feel
would
like that
say,
would feel.
depending on how well your helmet is padded, it will arguably stun you more. Because if your helmet's not padded well, you have now not just been hit by the force of the smack, but also that material of whatever the fuck your helmet is made out of, which now has the force of the smack. It's no longer just a human hand, it is now metal or plastic or something
And
along
there's
those
also
lines.
another thing that people are bringing up is how they're like, how could she grab the stormtrooper's helmet and like pull down on it to like get him to? First, like I said, she's not fighting fair.
Grip and pull. There's a little
I
lip in
guarantee
there
you,
that you can easily
if
just.
you put a 5.0 first approved screen accurate stormtrooper helmet on, I bet you there's a little lip right here where you can grab.
Is. No, it's where
Yeah.
typically
How
like
you would know
people will
that?
install fans there. A little microphone comes up right there,
Mhm.
and that space between the microphone you can kind of like yank down. That and there's a
And
little lip up on the front which you can just kind of put your thumb on and just clunk.
also, I want to add. Wonder, I wow, it's almost like she's an imperial officer, and has been around stormtroopers for a while. I also know some people in the military. Regardless of what rank you are, you're gonna have to practice your martial arts every now and then. You know, for example, I've got a buddy who's in the Marines, and he does McMap, which is the Marine Corps martial arts program, and here's the thing: he practices his McMap pretty frequently. Now he's just enlisted, but here's the thing: if you're an officer and your enlisted guys can beat you up, they're not going to respect you all that much. And here's the thing: have you ever met a military woman? They're pretty scary. They're pretty intense because not only are they in the military, which is already like a pretty tough environment, they're a woman in that environment. They won't play around. Like military dudes at the end of the day can look all tough on the outside but be pretty chill. But guarantee you, most military women, they don't play. They will jack you up, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's just people are just nitpicking to be nitpicky, and I'm just tired of it, honestly. Like, here's the thing, and I want to end on this. So, a very big and very popular Star Wars creator. I'm not gonna call him out by name because like he's got millions and millions of subscribers, and we've got like 36. This isn't a call out or anything, but he had a take. I think it was a live viewing of this episode, and he was upset because it's not meeting his expectations. And he said, "This show has to be perfect." And mind you, it's heat of the moment. You know, you're upset. It's not a great. First off, it's not a great take, but and people have rightfully called him out for this take. So I'm not saying that we're doing anything insightful here, but I think it's indicative of a lot of the fan response to this show, where people feel that it has to be perfect. It has to be amazing, incredible, just everything I've wanted and more. That's not Star Wars. That's never been Star Wars. Star Wars has never been perfect. I mean, honestly, let's be real here for a second. If we're talking critically acclaimed, like not because they're a Star Wars movie, but if you were to judge a Star Wars movie based on just its merits as a film, we've got like two, maybe three good movies that aren't just like popcorn blockbusters. And those would be A New Hope,
Rogue One.
Rogue One, and Empire. Other than that, they're a little cheesy. They're a little goofy. Sometimes they're even, guess what? A little silly.
And a little
And
campy.
that is okay. And the camp is great. Star Wars is not about Darth Vader snapping necks or a tomb full of dead Jedi or the slaughter of the younglings, which honestly, in today's context, if you really want to see the slaughter of the younglings again, you need therapy. Go to therapy. Because
We don't
honestly,
have a banner for that.
yeah, we don't need to go to therapy banner. But
Best I got is a sarcophagus,
yeah,
which is
but
very full after the She-Hulk trailer.
seriously though, I don't need to see the Jedi Temple raid again. I don't need to see Anakin personally slaughtering the whole room full of younglings because it's implied that it happens. Certain things are better left to your imagination. Because here's the thing: you can imagine all these wonderful, amazing, great things, but at the end of the day, what you see is never going to live up to your imagination. So some things are just better left to your imagination. And is it unfortunate that more people aren't liking this show and loving this show? Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. I think when something that gives you joy isn't giving you joy anymore, I think that's a very sad thing. But also, like, how much are you willing to get out of your own way? Like, I knew for a fact coming in, like, there are no guaranteed Clone Wars flashbacks. There's no guaranteed Ahsoka or Rex or Cody or Mace Windu or Quinlan Voss or anything like that. Like, none of these characters are guaranteed. The only guaranteed characters we had at the start of the show were the ones we saw in the trailer. Uncle Owen. Leia was a surprise, and a amazing surprise she was.
Yeah, there was nothing about Leia. They kept her well under wraps.
Killed it. Absolutely nailed it.
But
But
I know
yeah,
we started talking about the massacre on the temple. Would we say that we've fully touched episode 4 and can now move on to news and rumors?
I say definitely yes. I think overall, this episode is probably my second favorite in the series. Episode
Alright.
3 is still top for me. That episode was amazing. This is probably my second, and then the first is going to be my third, and the second episode is probably going to be my last. I loved all of them. I have no valid critiques or criticisms of this show. And here's the thing: I have full trust in Deborah Chow and how this show's going to end, and I can't wait. I'm going to be upset when it ends. But I want to touch on our first news and rumor. Kenobi is going to be getting a season 2 from what we've heard after the popularity of season 1. And
I don't know what
I
they're
am
going to do with
begging,
that.
pleading, please be very careful. Please be very careful with the Kenobi season 2 because, like you said, where would we go and what would we do?
Yeah, I mean, I knew very little of like what they were going to be doing with the series with season 1, but season 2, there's so
Legends ran into this issue as well, where there was a few times Obi-Wan had to leave Tatooine to do stuff. And like I think there was one big story where like he leaves Tatooine and he goes to like Polis Massa, he's helping a Jedi in hiding, stuff like that. He gets chased down by Boba Fett because it's Legends and that dude appears everywhere. But I wonder what would be better for a season 2. The only thing I would want to see out of a season 2 is maybe the Journal of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I would like to see that, maybe, where like it's less of a, it's more of an anthology where we can see those Clone Wars flashbacks if you wanted to, where we can do stuff, like that, which I think would be pretty cool. But I just say be careful with it because I'm not necessarily sold on a season 2 yet. I'm loving season 1. Personally, I wouldn't mind if it's just a standalone show and it just has one season and that's it. And that's the last we see of Hayden and Ewan. I'm fine with that.
It's okay for it to be a limited series. I'm not saying that'd be the last we see of Hayden and Ewan. I'd love to see other like live action stuff of them revisiting the Clone Wars era. But I think as far as progressing further down the timeline, this is okay to be the last that we see.
Exactly.
But speaking of
And
Kenobi,
plus, yep, go ahead.
I was going to jump into the next bit of news and rumors.
Hit us.
Jumping all the way back to the start of episode 1, I want to take y'all back to that temple scene. The Jedi Master who comes in and is escorting the younglings through the temple is Jedi Master Minas Velti, who is played by the stunt double for Ming-Na Wen.
Cool.
Right?
I did not know that. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so kind of cool thing. That's all I have for Star Wars news. I do have two other bits of
I got a Star Wars news. So they just revealed, some new Obi-Wan Kenobi themed Black Series figures. They've got Obi-Wan from the show, but Lego just dropped a new Lego set.
and it
Some
has
promo
Ned B in it.
Yes. So they're going to be doing in episode 3, the moment where Obi-Wan gets lit on fire. They're going to make that into a Lego set. So
The
you too
immolation
can relive
scene.
that trauma with your very own
You
Lego.
too can light Obi-Wan Kenobi on fire.
And I have to say, it's a really cool set. But $50? Mm.
With Ned B,
Lego.
Mr. Squidward, with Ned B.
Yes, I made a TikTok about that.
I saw it. That's what I was quoting.
I thought that was hilarious. I immediately thought of you when I saw that set, and that idea popped in my head because I knew we'd have a conversation like that.
Thinking of me outside
$100 for a Krabby Patty with cheese, Mr. Squidward.
With cheese.
And don't get me wrong, Lego Ned B, very cool.
I like
Lego Kenobi series Obi-Wan, very cool.
He's had so many outfits over this that it's going to be hard to get them all.
Material Girl.
Truly so.
But also, I want Obi-Wan's tunic from this show. The tunic he wears is just beautiful.
Clip Daddy Finery has yet to start a Kenobi line as the store has yet to open up, but maybe somewhere along the way we could take commission for that.
For what?
For a Kenobi cloak or tunic. Might be able to talk commission stuff for that.
I won't
get my sewing machine up and running.
I also think that if we just got like a Galaxy's Edge tunic and we just dyed it like brown, a little bit darker, it would work just fine because it's gray. It's a gray tunic, and we're moving on.
It's a gray tunic on a Jedi.
Also, we didn't really talk about this that much, but Obi-Wan is getting his swagger back, and it's beautiful to see.
Yeah,
beautiful to see him getting his swagger back. But you know who else has some swagger? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Look at that seamless transition into talking about the trailer for Black Adam just dropped.
Shit, I haven't seen it.
I will say this. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I think it's gonna be a good movie. I think it's gonna be interesting. And with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Pierce Brosnan, it's gonna be good. We're not focusing on these big, well-known heroes. I mean, we've got Black Adam, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, Hawkman, characters that aren't necessarily
super well-known.
Exactly. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a banger. But we will see. What else did I put in news and rumors?
The last movie that focused on minor characters, some of which were anti-heroes, that DC did? It was James Gunn's Suicide Squad. You know what that movie was? Fucking phenomenal.
A banger.
I'm just saying.
Also, let's see what else.
Moving into my next bit of news and rumors.
I dropped the Black Adam trailer news and rumors, man. I dropped it in there. What else? What else did I send you? I sent you some other stuff too.
I have two pieces that have gone to the folder. They're 2 bits of Marvel news.
Hit me with it while I grab my phone.
1 second. I have to scroll past the lines and
Marvel
lines.
Came out. First episode of Miss Marvel came out.
Yeah, I believe that's gonna be our Tuesday time slot. Yes.
I think yes. So we're gonna start talking about Miss Marvel on Tuesdays. So I think that's a fair way to do it. Is do Kenobi on, have the Kenobi Day after show on Thursdays, and then watch and talk about Miss Marvel on Tuesdays.
That will give me time to watch Miss Marvel.
I'll tell you what. Without getting too far into Miss Marvel while you look it up, I'm intrigued.
Yeah?
I'm intrigued. I think there's going to be It's an interesting story. I do want to know more, but I'm also like kind of iffy. We'll talk
Have
about it
you
later.
have you seen the comment that the actress playing Ms. Marvel made about the universe that the MCU is set in?
Yes, she did. She said she didn't say they were 616. She said they were 1999 or something like that. Which
Yep.
honestly, I don't really care that much. It doesn't matter to me what universe
She's
they're in
done her homework.
because
I
quite
think
literally it's a multiverse. And why can't there be a comic multiverse and a live action multiverse? Either way, I'm not really bothered
the
by
biggest
it.
thing that it says to me about her saying that is like she loves this character as much as the fans who are really excited to see this character in live action for the first time do.
Absolutely.
That's
And
promising for me.
absolutely.
Really promising for me.
I think the only thing I would do I'm the only thing I'm looking forward to in this series, and I know we're kind of dwelling on it, but I want to hear. I know one thing about Miss Marvel is the fact that she sometimes shouts the phrase "embiggen" when like her hand gets really big. And I know they've changed her power set from the comics, but honestly, if she doesn't shout "embiggen" at least once in this show, I'm just gonna be like, okay, kind of a missed opportunity, but whatever. Because here's the thing. This is one of the first times I'm going into a show with absolutely zero expectations, zero idea of what's coming, zero clue of what's coming.
Entirely
And
blind, if you will.
fairly blind. Yeah, I saw like one trailer. I'm trying to see what else I sent you. I thought there was more stuff going on.
I have two
Um,
things.
yeah, hit me with it.
Um, so, firstly, we have news for a new Black Widow project. Well, not news. This is 100% rumor. Kate Bishop and Yelena
Oh,
Belova will appear in the next Black Widow project. They're considering Omega Red as the villain. I have no idea who that is. There is this weird skeleton mummy looking figure with like long white hair and that like ninja ponytail hair in the background of this. I don't know who that is,
I don't know either.
but
Uh,
cool. Black
what was
Widow.
it?
I'm down.
We had Dave Filoni's birthday this week. That was pretty cool.
We did. You know what else we had this week?
I can't believe he snuck an Order 66 scene into his own birthday party. Very cool, Dave. Thank you.
Very cool, Dave. Thank you very much. You know what else we had this week? We had Ghostbusters Day.
I know. I was hoping you would talk about it.
Not only did we have Ghostbusters Day, we had the announcement of 2 feature-length films getting announced, as well as 2 animated series getting announced, all set within the Ghostbusters universe. I am ridiculously excited. In addition to that, just giving an idea of every Ghostbusters project that we have in the works. We have the Afterlife sequel. We have the 2 new feature-length films. We have the 2 new animated series. We have Spirits Unleashed, the video game. And we have Ghostbusters VR, the video game. We went from having 1 Ghostbusters project announced, pre-Afterlife, to 7 the year after it releases. When I tell you that I am eating well, I may have to go up a flight suit size. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good.
I'm excited for you.
My HasLabs Proton Pack and Neutrona Wand arrive in spring, which is when Spirits Unleashed drops. And when I tell you that you will not see me out of that thing for a good quarter of the year.
That actually reminds me of a purchase I made recently. So I don't really have a good figure of the day today, but I want to show this thing that I bought, and I made a TikTok about it, and I said I'm never taking it off.
Okay.
But I literally have worn it every day. I promise. I've washed it. Don't worry, I've washed it. But I got this off of Her Universe.
Oh yeah, isn't that
It is based off Anakin's,
Yeah,
armor from the
his Clone War armor.
His Clone War armor.
Isn't that Ashley Eckstein's clothing line?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've been
It is
wanting to
a
pick up some of that
wonderful shirt or sweatshirt or whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. I enjoy it. It's super comfortable.
stuff. Nice.
And what can I say other than I enjoy wearing it? So shout out to Ashley Eckstein for the amazing clothes.
As well as just being a wonderful person in general.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate. Oh, final bit of news. This is in regards to an potential Emmy nomination, but not in the way that you think. Disney has changed Hawkeye to comedy series instead of limited series that it was previously registered as in the Emmy for your consideration page. Now, why would they do that? Why would they change something from a limited series to a comedy series? Well, I can tell you.
That's interesting.
It's because a limited series is meant to go for one season. As one. Uno. A singular. Eins.
Singular.
However, a comedy series can go for a little while. A comedy series could get a season 2 or a season 3.
And bring back Kingpin again.
Also, just wait for Echo.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Echo.
And
also, I want to talk about what was it? The Emmys we just had. We just had some awards show.
Dude,
and
I don't keep up with that.
apparently, there was a fight in Euphoria that beat out like Shang-Chi.
What?
Yeah, like for best fight scene, and it's like the scene in Euphoria. No hate Euphoria. I haven't seen it, but there's a scene, and then there's also like the bus scene from Shang-Chi, which I mean, in my opinion, should have won because that scene was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched Euphoria, so I can't comment on it. I just heard that won out over Shang-Chi, and that was like a meme. And it's like, which fight scene is better? Like the scene of the fight scene of Shang-Chi versus like some girls screaming and yelling and like slapping each other. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. I'm just saying that it beat Shang-Chi, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I don't know.
Oh, you know why?
Why?
It was the MTV Awards.
It's
fucking MTV. No one gives a shit.
It's a popular vote thing. It's fine, and people just saw Euphoria. And Shang-Chi's been out for a while, so people kind of like probably forgot about it.
I will also say this: keep in mind the audience for MTV.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh no, I agree.
That would coincide with most.
I would agree. Also, one more final bit of news. There was last Friday just released was 3 new episodes of The Boys on Amazon Prime.
I haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen the show, which Eli hasn't,
shut your mouth.
Check it out. We need to do an episode on this show. We need to do an episode when season 3 wraps. So,
a Boys recap.
We need to do a episode on The Boys because honestly, it's a really good show. I like it a lot.
Shoot. I'll be able to bring out my my Butcher Closet cosplay.
Have you seen any of the more recent seasons?
All the way up. I made it through part of episode 1 of season 3. All the way up.
Okay. We'll talk after stream about that scene. Let's just say this season of The Boys started out.
It started
with what can only be described as
potentially the most uncomfortable bit of television that I have watched in all of my years of being on this green earth.
I can only describe it as a bloody good time. And you can interpret that however you want. With
I have
my
a lot of
American
questions
ass
about what
saying
you
the phrase
determined to be.
bloody, we'll move on.
I think that's it.
But
I
with
mean,
that
we're
being said,
hour
thank you
15.
so much to everybody who joined us tonight. I think, and I'm happy our Wi-Fi issues kind of got solved. So
Yeah,
we
look
will
at
now
that.
be streaming more to Twitch. Maybe my laptop just needs to be booted up and gently massaged an hour before the show starts.
I think it could
doesn't
also
crash.
be that, I mean, if you were to hop in the stream at like 8, might give your Wi-Fi some time to fluctuate.
Adjust. Yeah. Oh, no. I agree. Yeah. No, I was quite literally in the bathroom. So,
But
but yes, thank you to everybody who came out tonight and joined our show. Another great episode. Can't wait for episode 5 of Kenobi, and also
absolutely.
tomorrow episode 4 of The Boys drops. So I will be watching that.
And a big thank you to our new supreme leader of the socials, my wonderful girlfriend Gabby, for hooking us up with the wonderful overlay that you see above us and below us and to our left and our right.
Absolutely, it is beautiful. Right. She did an amazing job, and I'm speechless. This is amazing. But
yeah.
With that being said,
it feels like a whole new stream.
It really does. I'm excited to see the direction this page takes going forward. So keep an eye out for that. Also, don't forget, it is June 9th. We are running out of time. This hair slowly gets longer and more beautiful each day. We still have to wait until June 30th in order to, if we reach 66 subscribers, I will make good on my promise and shave my head.
What happens to the mustache?
Okay, first off, it's a beard. It's just. I've got the loaded sideburns right
now. Do I get a hint of this question being asked regularly?
Hey, listen. If we hit 66, I'll up the ante. Not only, well, because I was already going to shave my head and my face. But if we hit 66, I honestly, you'll have to take my word for it on some of the part, but I'll shave my whole body. I'll do it. Say I won't. I'm upping the ante because I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good. We have not moved up in a couple days, so I'm feeling really good about this whole, I don't know, not hitting 66 subscribers thing. But
hey, babe.
Like I said, you'll have to take my word for it on some of the bits, but I am dead serious, Gabby. I am never been as serious.
Hey, babe, you remember your 3,500 followers that you've got?
I'm not afraid.
I need you to call in some people.
I'm going to regret this, aren't I? Before you know it.
I got you right where I wanted to have you. You got all nice and cocky and started saying shit on stream, and look where it gets you now.
But here's the thing. I'll back it up. I am a man of my word, but I also don't place bets I don't think I can win.
That's a fair point. Things are looking good for you right now. I will give you that.
It's the 9th. We are at 36 subscribers last I checked, which means we need 30 more.
What's people. 30 more?
Most of them like Star Wars and Marvel, so no. All right, bring it on. But with that being said, thank you so much to everybody for coming out tonight and joining us on another episode on the Kenobi Day After Show here on Under the Helmet Podcast. While you're here, since you've watched all the way to the end of the video, I think it's only fair that you give it a like, because obviously you liked it. Maybe, even because you liked it so much, you can leave a comment telling us how much you loved it. And you could say, hey, Dylan, that's some nice hair you got there. Snip, snip, buddy-o. Also, what you can do, share this video with a friend, because you want to get us to 66 subscribers, so I shave my entire body. But with that being said...
One second. Callahan, I know you're behind on Kenobi, but when you get around to watching this, hi, buddy. I missed you.
Hello, hey Callahan, what's up, dude? I'm glad. I hope you geeked out at all the Fallen Order references in this episode like I did because, beautiful.
I'm gonna say it. If I had a nickel for every time that a Jedi survived Order 66 and broke into Fortress Inquisitorius, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. I'm done.
So here's the thing: you made that joke in our Discord, and I was about to record a TikTok video about it, and one of my mutuals posted it first, and I said, "He wins this round." He's quick. Shout out to Xanatos, man, killed it. Anyways,
is he in the Discord?
Like, comment. He is not in the Discord yet.
Get him in there.
Also, speaking of Discord, join that Discord. Link,
you'll get all my memes that I post.
Link, of course, is in the description below. But thank you to everybody for coming out tonight. You know, whenever you're watching this video, may the Force be with you. Always.
Stay healthy. Stay safe.
Stay happy. And most importantly, stop nitpicking.